My name is Stephen King. Spent some time in the dark.
Please don't let us be in the dark.
Help me. I'm gonna scare the hell out of you. And that's a promise.
Oh, welcome to Castle Rock Radio. I am Max Booth.
And I'm Laura Michelle.
And this is a podcast
About?
which you probably already ascertained from the fact
Since you're
that you
listening to it on
chose
a
to
podcast
click on it.
app.
Yeah, maybe you're listening to this on YouTube and it popped up. You were like, hey, what the hell is this?
Wow.
I was trying to watch a preview of the Tales from the Darkside movie and I'm getting this podcast about it.
Instead, I'm getting these fabulous people talking about it. Hooray!
Holy smokes.
You're just in luck today.
Yeah, this is Castle Rock Radio. A
Wow.
podcast where we, talk about Stephen King and things loosely associated with him, such as Tales from the Darkside.
Exactly.
Which is what we're talking about today. So
What?
hey, yeah.
That's a crazy quinky dinky.
So I hope you're ready to listen to this. If you've never seen the movie, you should watch it. It's on, we watched it by getting a Cinemax 7-day subscription that we have no intentions of keeping.
No.
Yeah. Maybe they do have good movies. I don't know.
Yeah, they had a lot of them last night. I was looking at it.
Yeah, well, we're not going to find out.
Not after 7 days, right?
We were just using it to watch Tales from the Darkside because we have no money.
Hooray.
Because we do a podcast, and
There's just not a lot of money in podcasting.
maybe there is.
Maybe. Not yet.
Not podcasting about Stephen King, that's for sure.
Hey, you never know.
All that money, all the podcasting money is in talking about James Patterson. Maybe? I don't know. Nah, we should have did a true crime podcast. That's where the big bucks go.
Ooh.
Well, a Walking Dead podcast.
And Walking Dead is dead.
I don't
Literally.
think it is.
I think
People still talk about how much they hate watching that show every day.
Yet they still watch it.
I don't know why, but you know what? This is this is episode 45.
What? We've made it to 45 episodes?
My God, this is a Trump episode.
Oh no. It's bad. So bad. So bad.
Well, the movie was okay.
I'm not talking about that.
Oh, well, let's hope by the end of this episode, much like James Rebel, Trump's throat is slit by a gargoyle she-demon.
Only.
By the way,
Speaking
we're going
of-
to be spoiling this movie. So kick back and relax and let's talk about some spooky things.
Stephen King, originator of Pet Sematary. Arthur Conan Doyle, author of Sherlock Holmes. Michael McDowell, creator of Beetlejuice. George Romero, director of Night of the Living Dead. Now, these four masters of everlasting horror bring to the screen 4 tales of overwhelming terror.
I warned them, but they wouldn't listen.
Tales of diabolical fate.
You promised you'd never tell!
Tales of ghastly revenge.
Grow, O light. Rise, O light. Come forth, O light. Open his eyes.
Tales of ruthless evil.
That cat has killed 3 people in this household.
I don't believe this.
Kill it. Bury it. and bring me its tail.
Tales from the Darkside.
Well, that just about takes care of that, doesn't it?
Come, live the nightmare of your choice. Tales from the Darkside. The movie.
So, have you ever seen this movie before today?
I never had. I mean, I was aware of its existence.
Never crossed your path?
No, it's never crossed my path.
This came out in 1990.
Yes.
You weren't really watching too many horror movies then, were you?
Well, I mean, you have to remember, like, even in the early
cracked.
in the early 90s, if you wanted to see something, you either went to the theater or you waited to come out and you had to rent it on VHS.
I know. Now, like, when I was a kid, we owned this. But this movie is like a sign that anthology films, like horror anthology films, used to be at least decent.
Yeah, and
Recently, it's not the case.
No.
They all suck.
Yeah, they also used to use TV to tie in. I mean, the Tales from the Darkside series was on TV, so
Yeah.
and I remember other anthology-like shows being on back
like
then.
all the Creepshows,
Yeah.
Trick or Treat, which is kind of new.
Amazing Tales. I mean, that was
yeah.
a TV show.
I think a lot of the appeal of these old anthology movies is that it's just chock full of these like low-key famous people.
Right.
And also the special effects are usually like light on the CGI and it's really campy.
Right. Well, that's it. It's very, very nostalgic, you know.
But you get something like the ABCs of Death or XX. You remember that one? That was terrible.
Yes, that was pretty bad.
I don't know, just there's no. I don't know what will they go wrong exactly.
I think they take themselves way too seriously.
Maybe.
Like this one, you have to go in with it thinking, okay, this is going to be a little cheesy, and then you enjoy it, you know. Or if you go in going, I'm going to be scared by this, and you know.
I mean, this Tales from the Darkside movie fully embraces the camp.
Right, definitely.
And yeah, this is the titles from the show that was out, Tales from the Darkside. Mm-hmm. But like, do you know like the background of the show?
I really don't.
Well, there was Creepshow 1 and Creepshow 2.
Right.
And then George Romero, who basically created the movies. Stephen King was also involved, but not as heavily as old George.
Right.
He wanted to create a Creepshow television show.
That'd have been pretty cool.
But someone else had the rights to the name, so they just made a similar thing with a different title.
Gotcha.
So it came time to make a Tales from the Darkside 3. I don't know, like, why they didn't just use the same name, but it's generally, like, accepted that Tales from the Darkside, the movie, is Creepshow 3, even though there is a Creepshow 3.
Who knows?
The actual movie called Creepshow 3 is fucking awful. I am positive we will get to that eventually, but yeah, but Tales from the Darkside, that's the kind of real Creepshow 3.
Gotcha.
I mean, it has George Romero in it. It has a Stephen King story in it.
Right.
Yeah, The Cat from Hell, which is Stephen King's short story. It was supposed to be in Creepshow 2, but they had to cut it out for budget reasons.
Aha.
I guess fake cats are expensive. I don't know what else the cost would have been.
Yeah. More blood? I don't know.
Cat puppets. I do appreciate at the end of this movie it said no animals were harmed.
Well, of course.
I don't know how they got that cat and that man. So, the wraparound story, because all these anthologies have a wraparound, like a bookend.
Right.
So like like something that, like, half of it's in the beginning of the movie and the second half at the end. It's at the end. And this one's pretty decent.
That's not too bad.
It's basically a Hansel and Gretel type of thing.
Yeah.
It's just this boy who was delivering he was collecting money for his little brother's paper routes.
That's something you don't see anymore.
Little boys?
No, paper routes. People collecting for paper routes.
Are you kidding me? That was a Wild West back then. Kids getting abducted and eaten by witches left and right.
Of course.
There's a reason people don't do that now. Also, this kid, he was the boy in Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah, he was pretty famous back then.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he's the younger brother of Joey Lawrence, who was like a really famous child actor back then.
I don't know what that was.
So
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, his name is Matthew Lawrence.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that they're
So it's
brothers.
possible. And this woman who drags him into the house is Deborah Hilly, who is the vocalist of Blondie. She was the blonde from Blondie.
She is the Blondie.
Could she be more monotone in this movie?
She was very monotone. She was very much
ditzy.
just very, I don't know what the word I'm looking for here is.
Blonde.
She's blonde. She was also the one that played in Videodrome, so...
Like, what happened between Videodrome and this?
I
The paycheck difference.
yeah, I don't know.
It begins with the Blondie. I'm just going to call her Blondie. Her name's Betty, but I'm just going to say Blondie. She's driving through this suburban neighborhood. She's waving, and like saying hi to all the neighbors. And she comes in, and she's looking at like a recipe book, and the pantry, which is like caged off with this metal door.
Yeah, it had a big metal door, and then she opens the metal door, and there's a cage behind it.
Yeah, and Matthew Lawrence is chained to a wall. It's like a
Right.
prison. A calaboose, as they called it in the Old West.
But she's telling him how long it's going to take to cook him and what she's going to do to prepare him. And she's giving him a book, and she goes, "That was my favorite book as a kid."
Now, did she give him the book, or did he have it on him?
I think she gave it to him, or it was in the cage to begin with, or something.
I mean, this pantry is empty, so it's just this random giant tome.
I guess.
And if you look at it as he's flipping through it,
It's
every
blank.
single page is blank in this book.
Yes.
They could have just scribbled like some penises on it, or anything to make it look realistic.
Just put a few lines of text, even if it's that stupid Latin phrase that you get.
Even if it's the screenplay,
Right?
So the kid can know his lines. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess you want to be a good host. Like, if you're gonna be cooking some kid, you want to have him read a book to pass the time.
Well, hey.
But the kid is already familiar with the book, and so is the woman. So it's like, is this a famous book in this universe?
Apparently.
Like, everybody reads it, like the Grimm. Like, they'll both, like, she goes, "Oh, that was my favorite one," and the boy's like, "Let me read you my favorite story." And she has no recollection of any of these.
No, she's like, "I don't remember that story at all." And I'm thinking, well, then obviously you didn't read this book because you would remember these stories.
So, how old do you think this kid is? Like 10, 11?
Yeah, probably.
So he begins by saying, "Let me read you my favorite story in this book." Why would this little boy's favorite story be about two academics getting revenge on each other?
I don't know.
Because that's the most boring possible thing a kid at his age could like.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that'd be his favorite one.
I don't even think he would have finished that one.
He'd be like, "I'll screw this."
But yeah, I mean, this movie is just cram-packed with a lot of, like, oh, hey, it's that guy.
Yeah, a lot of famous actors and actresses. This is...
And so the first segment is Lot 249, which is based off an Arthur Conan Doyle short story of the same title. And Michael McDowell is the director of this one. He's done a bunch of shit in the past. I think he did the World Processor of the Gods episode of Monsters.
Oh, he might have.
Pretty sure he did. He did a lot of Stephen King stuff. He's also a famous crime novelist.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, this one, of all of them, you have Christian Slater, you have Julianne Moore in a debut appearance in the movie,
Right.
and Steve Buscemi playing the dorkiest fucking kid ever.
He's supposed to be this college kid, yet he still looks like he's 50.
I thought he was a professor the whole time! And only at the end did I realize, oh no, he's supposed to be the same age as Christian Slater?
Yeah, I swear he has not changed over the years at all. He looks exactly the same.
You haven't seen him lately.
Does he look bad lately? I don't know.
Lately. His age has caught up to him in The Death of Stalin, it's called. You definitely can tell that he's not Christian Slater's age. But yeah, so the premise is basically Christian Sladle's friend. No, his sister, Julianne Moore, has conned Steve Buscemi like she stole some precious artifact from something.
From the museum that they work at.
And then she blamed it on Steve Buscemi.
Right.
She did an anonymous phone call.
Right, and it was all to help her boyfriend get this, like, scholarship thingy-dingy to travel to Europe.
Right. Yeah, because the boyfriend, Lee, him and Steve Buscemi were competing for the same scholarship.
Right. But the thing is Lee and Andy and even Julianne Moore's character, whose name escapes me right at the moment.
Who gives a shit?
They're all rich, where Steve Buscemi is poor, so they think it's funny to, like, pull these pranks on this poor guy.
This poor old man.
This poor old man.
Who's been held back decades. Maybe it's like a Rodney Dangerfield thing. He's
Maybe.
going back to school. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how old he was in this. But he definitely, I thought he was the professor.
He looked like it. He could have played the professor easily and gotten away with it. He
He's-
could have played the doddering old professor and gotten away
He could have
with it.
played the fucking mummy, okay? So speaking of, Steve Buscemi buys a mummy.
Yes.
We don't know real how much it costs.
I don't know. I thought the same thing. I thought, where the hell did he get the money to buy this mummy
yeah,
thing?
he buys a mummy. It is delivered in a giant crate, hence the lot 249.
Right.
But yeah, how do you buy a mummy?
I don't know. I assume because it has a lot number that it was sold at like some sort of estate sale or like a auction of some sort, because that's what they do. They give them lot numbers.
Gotcha.
But
So you
still,
probably got it on the cheap.
maybe so.
Okay.
But still, I'm thinking the shipping on that sucker would have been quite expensive. Considering how much it cost to mail a book to Canada, it probably was very expensive to ship a sarcophagus across the U.S.
This dude didn't have no fucking Amazon Prime, I'll tell you that. So he buys a mummy, and his whole like scheme is he's going to use this mummy to exact revenge on those who have wronged him,
Right.
which is an extremely elaborate plot.
Yeah,
It's little easier ways of revenge.
exactly. Than trying to reanimate
It's-
mummies.
First, he had to research a lot of estate sales. Then he had to place a bid at the exact
Hope he
right
wins.
time. Like, did he have to travel to this place?
I don't know.
Probably so. He had to raise those little hands that you do at auctions.
Maybe he called in his bid.
Okay. Well, either way, he had to pay for long distance, probably.
Yes, you would have had.
He had to send a check. He had to make sure it cleared. He had to wait.
There was no PayPal then.
I mean, a mummy's going to take a while. It probably had to come by ship.
I don't know. It depends on where it's coming from.
It wasn't coming from, like, Ohio.
You don't know this.
There's no mummies in Ohio. I know that. I've checked.
You've been researching your Ohio
So
mummies.
the mummy arrives, and then he has to an ancient scroll. He then has to study that and get all the translation correct.
Right.
I mean, still, the revenge hasn't even began yet.
No.
He's in the research phase. The
Yeah.
preparation stage.
I can't imagine the amount of preparation that took.
I don't have that kind of energy.
And the thing is, it's all supposed to be taking place like within like a week time with it. He learned that he's not winning the scholarship, so
I mean, he must have just been like, if someone ever fucks me over, I'm going to buy this mummy.
exactly. Let me get this mummy so I always have it handy.
Or maybe he just had he would have had to buy the mummy if any of this happened.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not overnight delivery.
No.
It's not coming in a plane.
No, but I mean, if he works for a museum, I mean, I guess he has more connections. I don't know.
Maybe he was just buying the mummy because he likes mummies.
Well, it sounded like he was going to be able to sell the mummy for a profit at some point in time.
Who is he going to sell the mummy
Like to a museum or another
You know
collector.
who buys a mummy?
People who want revenge.
People who want to fuck a mummy.
Necrophiliac mummying.
That's what you call a MILF. So yes, he reanimates this mummy by reading this, I don't know, this chant that came with the scroll.
Right.
How is he going to do all this?
I don't know. And the thing is he found the scroll deep inside the mummy's belly.
Like, was he looking for that specifically?
I don't know. Yeah, they cut open the stomach of the mummy and he stuck his hand in there and he was looking around and like he's like, oh, this is myrrh and this is some other frankincense or whatever.
And this is a scroll.
And then he's like, aha, the scroll.
Wait, was he looking though? Was he
I
just
don't
like,
know.
I
I don't
know
know
what's
if
in
he
his
was
mummy's
just
stomach.
checking out what's in the contents of the mummy's
I would
abdomen.
do
I don't
that,
know.
wouldn't you? Like, what did mummies eat back then? Did he digest it yet?
Well, the stomach would have been gone.
Why?
Because they remove your innards when you
They
mummify
only
you.
remove the brain.
That is not true. They also remove your organs.
No.
Yes.
It's a old mummy's tale. Why didn't they remove the frankincense?
Well, I think they stuffed it in there to help you decompose correctly, to keep it from smelling.
They put a lot like valuables in it. Just put like newspaper.
I don't think they had newspaper
old
in
grocery
Egyptian
store
times.
coupons. Ooh, quick stop. 2 for 1. 3 for 1 scoops. The mummy rises, and it's pretty stupid looking.
Yeah.
He's kind of shambling around. Christian Sladle's in the process of fixing the an outage in the dome. The electricity's gone out, so he's
Right.
flipping the brake holds.
I know, but they're like the old school fuses where you have to screw them back in.
Yeah. And the mummy just walks up to him and kind of slaps him as he's walking. So
Yeah.
it's a real dick move because he could have just kept walking.
Yeah, he chose to reach out and touch somebody.
He's like, "Poof, get out of my way." But like this mummy has a specific goal. It's going after this Julianne Moore's boyfriend, the
Right,
one
Lee.
who won the scholarship. Like I know like he reads the chant to make him rise. Like how does he make him go after the specific
I
person?
really don't know.
How is
Maybe they sit down and have a frank conversation that just wasn't recorded.
Frank?
A frank.
All right, mummy, this is what you're gonna do.
Exactly.
Lee, he lives 5 blocks to the left. So, like, do they do directions? How is he supposed to
don't know.
automatically know?
Maybe he sniffs it out like a bloodhound. Mummy
Do you
sense.
think like he has a pill of Lee's like panties or something? That he's
Maybe
like,
so.
all right, this is the scent you want. It's
Track this down.
It's mostly brown.
Gross.
Yeah. But so he breaks into Lee's house, and it's like a game of cat and mouse where Lee is running around the house looking, and the mummy's like hiding and peeking out. And then at one point, the mummy grabs a clothes hanger and bends it into like
Right.
a line. It's like, that mummy would be losing his fucking mind. He's never seen a clothes hanger before.
Right.
How does he know that it could be used as a weapon?
Yeah.
Why isn't he shocked at television?
Or anything. Yes.
He passes a TV with a Day of the Dead playing on it, I think. I mean, he should be mesmerized.
You're like, my people.
But no, he pays no attention. I mean, that's what I want in this movie. I want the mummy to be like Encino Man almost. Like,
Okay.
whoa.
Whoa.
I want a I'm Too Sexy montage of him trying on different bandages.
Pink ones and green
Yeah.
ones. Right, so he finally catches up to Lee, and he takes the hanger and he shoves it up Lee's nose to pull out his brain, effectively killing Lee. So the next scene we come on, there's a plate of fruit with brains on it that Julianne Moore finds.
Yeah, like next to bananas and whatnot.
Yeah,
right?
it's like a plate of fruit with some brains on it.
Is that what they used to do with the brains?
I don't know. Maybe it's considered some sort of delicacy.
What did they do with like brains? Did they eat them?
No, I don't think so.
They just tossed them?
I think they put them in a jar.
Oh, okay.
Because didn't they put all their organs in different jars and
No, it wasn't-
bury them with them?
Wasn't around then. I don't know. You'll have to tell me.
I wasn't around then either. Shut up.
He kills Julianne Moore then.
Yes.
Right? How?
I don't know exactly. I don't remember. I think he removes one of her internal organs, doesn't he?
Oh, he scratches his little back open and stuffs it with like
Oh yeah, the flowers.
foam. Oh, flowers. Was that like a way they mummified people?
I don't know. I'm thinking they were chrysanthemums, so I'm thinking there's some sort of symbolism there.
Oh, I don't know. But I mean, the mummy, like, he's supposed to have this crazy strength where he can just rip open someone's back with a scratch.
Of course.
But later on, Christian Slater just, like, steps on him and he's done. He's done. So I guess we'll just get into that. I mean, these aren't that long.
No.
So Christian Slater immediately knows what's going on.
Of course.
He just accepts reality. Like, you know what? I bet you that mummy you bought is doing all this.
Whoa.
After no real evidence, because Julianne Moore is like, I saw the person who killed my boyfriend. He stunk, and he was filthy. And Christian Slater's like, oh, that's probably a mummy.
Maybe so.
Not like just a hobo.
Well, curiously, they both mentioned that it smells like rotting flowers.
Oh, okay.
So that's what made him think that.
I also like how Julianne Moore doesn't seem that upset that old boyfriend.
I know, she's like, yeah, whatever.
Like, she walks in on his corpse, and she's like, oh.
Yeah, she wasn't sad at all.
And then she calls Christian Slater, and she's like, are you busy?
Yeah, don't call the cops because your boyfriend's
Well, it's
dead.
after the cops come.
Oh, okay.
But she's like, hey, you busy?
Yeah.
Like, what if he was?
Yeah, let me finish up what I'm doing, sis.
But yeah, so the mummy kills both of them. And then Christian Slater, like, just bulges into Steve Buscemi's apartment. It's like, hey,
Right.
you geek. I'm going to tie you up now. So he ties him up now. He, like, tortures him into giving away the location of the ancient scroll.
It's very important.
But before he does that, he steps on the mummy, preventing the mummy from doing anything, and slowly rips off, like, just its limbs.
It's important.
Because it's all made of nothing.
Apparently.
Even though it has the strength to rip open a back. And then he takes Steve Buscemi's, like, thesis and rips it up beneath him.
Right.
And Steve Buscemi's like, what are you going to do with that? And Christian Slater goes, I'm going to roast your nuts is what I'm going to do.
Yeah, he's a little weirded out at this point.
I mean, I love the acting in this movie, especially from him, because he's fully embracing just how dumb this is. Steve Buscemi is kind of tamed in comparison. They should have let him go wild.
Right? They should have let him go full Buscemi.
Exactly. He's kind of just playing this dweeb.
He is, and he's very subdued. He's not shouting obscenities or
I
anything.
mean, everybody is subdued except for Christian Slater, who's
That's true.
It's like he's been waiting all his life for a mummy to kill his sister.
Maybe he has.
So he gets this scroll, which of course is a decoy thing that Steve Buscemi's put in place in the off chance that I guess this exact
Somebody wanted to steal
scenario
it,
would
yeah.
happen. Christian Slater, he burns the scroll, the decoy, and then he goes on about his day. And then Steve Buscemi, of course, gets the real one out, like, sometime later. And he reanimates the corpses of Julianne Moore and her boyfriend. And they come and go like, hey, Christian Slater, we're going to kill you now.
Ta-da!
The end.
Yeah. So, that was that story.
That's lot 249. Not great.
Kind of predictable.
I'm never excited by mummies.
What about daddies?
You mean like Pennywise?
Yes.
You can be my daddy any day. But I don't know. Mummies just don't seem that exciting. Have you ever seen like a scary mummy movie?
No. As a matter of fact, I haven't.
just close the tomb. I don't
Just
know.
unwrap the Band-Aids.
Never read the scroll.
There you go. Don't read in Agent.
Don't go to Egypt. Don't go to museums. All of those things should be closed down. Well, not good for society.
You never know that.
I do. I've seen movies.
You've seen them?
Those either like fucking Teddy Roosevelt comes to life or a mummy kills people. It's never good. Then we go to the second installment of this movie, which is the Stephen King short story, Cat from Hell.
Right.
Which is being adapted by George A. Romero.
Mr. Romero himself.
Thankfully, there's no rape added to this one. Like he did with The Wrath from Creepshow 2. Although the short story is significantly different, but we will get into that when we do a separate episode about the Cat from Hell.
Fair enough.
So, yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so this guy shows up in a taxi to this really old house. And
It's David Johannesson.
right.
Who is, he was in that band, I don't know.
Something of the New York Dolls.
Yeah, that was it. His name was like Poindexter.
Yeah, like Buster Poindexter or
That's it,
something.
yeah. I don't really know much about him.
Anyway, so he goes into this house, and the old guy that played...
Oh, the grandpa in Vacation.
Yeah, no, he played Uncle Lewis in Vacation.
Oh, he was an old man.
He was the old man.
He always plays an old man.
I think he's always been an old man. Anyway, he says, I want you to kill something for me. Someone, or does he say someone?
I got a hit I need you to make.
That's what it says. So
it's right behind you.
When the guy turns around, there's just this cat sitting there. He goes, meow, and runs off.
He spins around and pulls out like a switchblade.
Yeah. Because you always have to have a switchblade handy.
Wow, he is a hit man.
I suppose.
Not a hit cat.
So the old guy in the wheelchair is just convinced that this cat is responsible for the death of everybody else in the house.
Yeah, he hands him a packet of $50,000. He's
Right.
like, okay, now let me tell you my story. This is proof that I'm serious. I'm giving you 50,000 grand.
Right. 50,000 grand, huh?
Yeah, whatever that means. So he goes to this tale of how his sisters all died one by one by this cat. And I don't know. I mean, the first one, it was just like his sister was walking down some steps and then the cat happened to triple.
Right.
Which,
that could happen regardless if the cat was trying to or not. I've tripped over the cat several times.
Yeah, and the second time, the cat suffocates, his other sister.
It was like his sister's friend. It was a family friend.
Yeah, it leaps on her face. And
he wraps himself around her face.
And then the third time, the dude who played Hector Salamanca, I don't know if I said his last name right.
I don't know.
From Breaking Bad, yeah. He's like the little
right.
friend or something.
He's the butler.
And he's driving away to put the cat out of his misery. And the cat just kind of attacks him as he's driving until he wrecks and dies.
Why didn't he have the cat in a cage if he was going to take it out?
But also, the old man, William Hickey, he wasn't present for any of these deaths.
Right, so how does he know?
He's just making this shit up.
So if the guy was driving away with the cat, did the cat just make itself way back to the mansion?
Or hitchhiked. And stuck out a paw. Ass, grass. Little gas.
Little gas.
Took me a moment.
He's convinced that the cat is there to get revenge because the pharmaceutical company he owns
has killed 5,000 cats
while testing their drug.
5,000. He has an exact number.
5,000.
That's too many cats.
I didn't even think there are 5,000 cats, are there?
Is that a silliest question?
No, not really.
Okay. What is his medication?
I don't know. The guy describes it as some sort of painkiller. So it sounded like it's some sort of opioid that people become addicted to.
5,000 cats.
Yeah.
After 1,000, when they think maybe we should do something
maybe
different.
maybe this medicine doesn't work. I don't know.
Let's try it 4 more times.
But all the while he's telling this story, the old guy is popping pills the whole entire time.
He's crazy. That's all it is to it. He's just come up with this.
He's just doped up on his own drugs.
5,000 cats.
Yes.
That's ridiculous.
So the hitman is like, whatever, dude. But
you crazy fuck.
It's $100,000 because he's gotten 50 now, and he's gonna get 50 when the cat's disposed of.
I also feel like that's way too much money to kill a cat.
I don't know.
I mean, the whole thing is you charge so much to kill a human because you go to prison. If you kill a cat, it's
yeah, whatever.
Fuck cats. Like a grand would probably have been enough. I don't know.
I'm not a hitman, so.
I'm just saying, this dude, he's killed way worse than cats.
Right.
I think this old man's overreaching.
Yeah, he really wants the cat gone.
So the old man goes, okay, I'm going to leave now because I'm afraid.
Right.
So he leaves the house, and the David Johannesson, Halston, the hitman, he just kind of gets drunk for a while and talks to the cat who's hiding.
Right.
And we get a lot of awesome POV cat vision.
I thought that was cool.
Cat
and you could
cam.
always tell when it was the cat because of the way the edges of the movie got, and it was kind of cool how they did that.
Yeah, the cat just creeping up and watching the hitman get drunk or watch TV. And once in a while, the cat will just jump out and scratch him. He goes, "Ah, not again, cat."
Right. You're not going to get the drop on me,
At one
you
point,
stupid cat.
the cat, like, pulverizes his scrotum. I don't know what happens, though.
I'm not exactly sure.
But it
'cause they
rips
didn't
a
really show.
giant hole in his crotch.
Right.
And he's like, "No one hits me twice." And then he hits him again. And he's like, "No one hits me 3 times."
This is like one hell of a supernatural cat, because he'll fly through the air and scratch you in the neck and be gone before you even notice.
Most cats can do that. Let's be honest, you know.
And scarily enough, this cat looks just like our cat.
Yes.
So I want to know what our cat is plotting.
I don't know.
But I haven't done any testing, so we're okay then.
Yeah, I mean, I've only killed 1 cat. Not a joke. It was an accident.
But then at the stroke of midnight, which is when all the other deaths happen, the cat jumps down his throat
Right.
and forces himself down the guy's throat. So of course he dies.
No, he lives.
He lives with a cat in his stomach.
That's pretty cool as, a prop. I don't know. Graphics, whatever, how it looks. Imagery. This is fake cat just being stuffed down this body.
This guy's throat.
This fake body's head.
Right.
His throat swells up like a python eating a mouse.
Right. And then you can see the cat travel down to the stomach.
And it just kind of takes a nap in his gut, I guess.
I think so.
Like in the Schultz story, it does the same thing, but it, like, explodes through
out.
his stomach.
I kept waiting for that to happen.
But instead of that, in this movie, it just kind of takes a nap until the morning when the old man comes home and he sees the hitman dead. He's like, "Oh, no."
It's like, that damn cat. Oh.
And then the clock strikes midnight for some reason because he has shot it.
He had shot the grandfather clock, but it started ticking again for some reason.
So it hits midnight, even though it's like 8 a.m. And the cat just sprays out of the dead guy's mouth, covering him in blood.
Yeah.
And the cat walks up to him, and then the old man just dies of a heart attack.
Yeah, because he couldn't get to his pills fast enough.
His cat pills.
His dead cat pills.
And that's the cat from hell.
It was a cat from hell.
I mean, there's a lot of, like, scenes where the hitman's shooting at the cat, and, like, he should have had the right aim.
Right.
But somehow the bullet, like, whizzes past him, so it seems like the cat is, like, unkillable.
Right.
Like, I didn't get, like, he was bad aim. I just got, like, you can't kill the cat.
You're right, that the cat was unstoppable.
Which is kind of cool.
He's a cat from hell.
He is.
Go cats.
He's the John Wick of cats. Then we go on to the last one, which is probably the best one.
Yeah, probably.
This one skilled me so much when I was a kid. And I had forgotten what it was exactly, what this movie was. But I always, like, for a while, I had this image of a gargoyle woman. So I would always Google that and nothing would come up except, like, awesome pornography. Eventually I figured out what movie it was. And I haven't seen it until today, since when I watched it as a kid.
Right.
I remember most of this one. I didn't remember the first 2 at all.
I'm surprised you didn't remember the cat from hell.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why this one stuck out so much. I think it was like an HBO movie. I didn't have HBO, so I don't know. I don't know how I saw it. We rented it, maybe? Who
Probably.
knows? It was written by Michael McDowell and is based off of Yukiana.
I would assume that's how you pronounce
It's
it.
a Japanese, like, folktale.
Right.
It's about, James Remall from the Royals and Dexter. He's a good man. Good guy. Maybe. I don't know. He might be a sex rapist.
As is everybody else in
But I don't
Hollywood.
know. He's good in movies I like. He's an artist, a painter.
Right, and he's kind of down and out on his luck because his agent is now dumping him.
How come every painter in a New York 80s movie or 90s movie lives in this giant, like, empty loft?
I don't know. I want to get a giant.
They always have
I
that.
always want to go, where did they get this giant empty loft? I want one.
Like, rent it out.
Right.
It's so big, you don't need that much room. It's always huge, and, like, the walls are always covered in these humongous canvases. And
Right.
the protagonist is always covered in paint and sweaty. It's in every single movie like that. And this is no exception.
Right.
So his agent calls from a pub that's, like, down the street, so he rushes down. And the agent's like, "I've been waiting here a half hour," and James Reball is like, "Oh,
I'm so sorry, I forgot.
Yeah, and the agent's like, well, you know what? Guess what? I'm not your agent anymore, man. Because no one's buying your shit.
Right, you better get it out of the gallery by tomorrow or it's just going to be trashed.
I mean, you give me a little notice than that.
Right?
Gotta,
I'm sorry, tomorrow I have, a facial or something.
I gotta find a friend who has a truck.
Especially in New York.
Yeah. And the agent just leaves and he gets drunk. And come closing time, the bartender pulls out this handgun. He just checks that it's loaded. And he puts it in his pocket, and they're like, what are we going to do about this other dude? Because, like, little friend is passed out.
He's passed out drunk inside the bar.
And the bartender's like, we'll just leave him till morning. We'll lock him in. That can't be a thing that happens.
I would think that would be illegal, but what do I know?
That guy's going to wake up at 5 a.m. and drink everything in that bar.
I'm surprised he didn't.
Maybe he did.
Maybe he did. We don't know.
We don't know because the bartender dies. They walk outside. Preston, the panel... He's taken the longest leak of anyone's life. Stephen King must have been impressed. When he saw this movie, he would have...
He's like, oh my God.
Every time they cut away from him peeing, he would be like, go back! What happens next? Is he still going?
He's like, be still my heart. It's a tribute to me.
I'm almost still. Keep doing it. Yeah, he's peeing, and while he's peeing, this gargoyle just jumps out of nowhere and decapitates the bartender for no good reason.
For no reason. I mean, it didn't even say, like, anything. He just jumped down and decapitated him. So then, of course, Preston's like, oh my God, I'm gonna die next.
Yeah, he goes, hey, please don't kill me, gargoyle. And the gargoyle says, okay.
He says, your life for one promise.
But, yeah, she goes... he,
I don't know. It's a gargoyle.
Yes. I'll spill you your life. If you can vow never to talk about me or tell anyone what I look like.
Or what I sound like.
And it's like, yeah, that seems pretty reasonable.
Right.
Okay. But it's also like, well, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What are you doing now, you old gargoyle?
Exactly.
Did you get lost?
And why did you kill him?
Yeah.
But you get spared.
Why do you give us both that deal? Like, what did that guy do?
Right?
You against alcohol now? You some prohibitionist?
Then,
It's so goofy the way the vocals come out.
It's ridiculous.
It's like the face is just moving like left and right, and then they just dubbed it over with a voice. Obviously, how else would they do it? But it looks cool and goofy. It's like they didn't. I don't think they thought this out too well. Like, why is this gargoyle downhill? And why is he killing one dude? And, like, why is it offering this...
I don't know. Yeah, to Preston.
This deal to this hack.
I could see if, like, it fed on the other guy or something, but it didn't.
It's just like what sound like whoopsie? And chops his head off.
And it's fun that way.
Like a prank.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like a game show almost. It's like and like the vow isn't that challenging. It shouldn't be.
It's not that big of a deal. Just don't tell anybody I exist.
I don't tell people lots of things. It's not that difficult.
What don't you tell people?
I'm not gonna tell you. It's like as long as you don't talk about this gargoyle, nothing will happen to you.
Right. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I could do that. But no, he runs away.
Right.
And he's hiding, like, what do you call these? Like, it's not a stoop.
It's like an entrance way.
Crevice.
Yeah, it's like, how, like, the entrance
like in
ways.
cities.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not an alley. It's like where you walk in. I don't know. I'm not a city folk.
Yeah, it's just like where you wait in the doorway, but it's like
It's
inward.
not a foyer. It's like an adult foyer.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what it's
Awning?
called. Maybe.
I don't know. It's a stoop. Let's call it a stoop.
You're a stoop. I'm calling you a porch, by the way.
He sees this woman.
Right.
He waits until she's right next to him. He jumps out, grabs her, and slams her against the wall with his hand over her mouth.
Don't worry, I'm not gonna hurt you. Yeah, sure, says every rapist ever.
While he's looking around, making sure no one else is nearby.
Right.
And he gets mad, like, stop screaming, what's wrong with you? You want to get killed? Like, yeah, that's what she wants to hear right now. Yeah. He's like, what are you doing in this neighborhood? She's like, I'm trying to find a cab.
What the hell?
And this is Ray Don Chong, by the way.
Yes.
I don't know if I said that right.
I think you did.
Who is Tommy Chong's daughter.
Very exciting.
Yeah. She's like, I'm trying to find a cab. Do you mind letting me go?
Right.
He's like, I'm not going to find a cab. You see any cabs out here? Why don't you come to my place and you can use my phone? And of course she goes, yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah, I know. She just follows him. I'm like, all right. Following some stranger in New York City, go for it,
The
dude.
stranger who slammed you against the wall.
Right? Like, not even like 2 minutes ago.
So, yeah, I'm going to go home to you. And that's what she does. And they get to his loft.
His
And he
loft.
gets the phone and calls the cops.
Right.
He doesn't say anything, and on the other line, the cop goes, "Hello, this is the police.
Right.
Anyone there?" And he goes, "You jerk," and he hangs up. That's not what the cop would do.
No.
He would be like, "Oh, let's send a dispatcher to this person who's probably in the process of being killed."
Well, they would have called back at least to make sure that everything's okay.
This is New York, though.
Yeah, maybe they wouldn't.
Most
but...
cops will just like, "You
Yeah,
jerk,
whatever, fucker.
you jerk."
Yeah, he tells her, "Oh, the line's busy. We'll have to call back later." So he goes into the bathroom to take off his shirt because he's been scratched. The gargoyle scratched him across
It's
the
not
chest.
even a bathroom. He's just
Yeah, I don't
this
know.
loft
It's like the
is
bath.
one room.
It's like the bath area.
Yeah, like there's a bathtub next to the bed. I don't know. And yeah, his chest is all scratched to shit.
Right. And she's like, "Oh my God, what's wrong?" He's like, "I had a fight with a scotch bottle."
What does that mean?
Yeah, I'm thinking, what kind of scotch bottle are you fighting with here, dude?
It's like you fell in a goddamn
Rake.
Yeah.
So she takes the cotton ball and starts cleaning up his wound. I'm thinking, okay.
And he's like, "Hey, I have a good idea. Do you want to fuck right now?"
And
She's
they
like, "Yeah."
did.
Yeah, they do. That's what they do. That's what happens. And then, what? Like, cuts to 10 years later?
Well, first off, he goes down and he sees the next morning.
Oh, I thought you meant he goes down on them.
No,
That
well,
does
he probably
happen.
does.
Yeah, after he's just vomited, by the way.
Yeah, I was like, I told Max, I said, I hope he brushed his teeth.
There's no tooth brushing. Does that guy look like he owns a toothbrush?
I would hope so, because that was gross.
He goes down what?
You go, no.
He goes to
It's like the
Australia?
next morning. And he goes downstairs and he sees the guy that was in the bar being put in the back of a police car.
Yeah.
And the bartender's being put in the back of an ambulance. He goes, and the drunk guy was going, "That's my friend there. That's my friend." He says something about him being headless, too. I can't remember, but it was like a funny line at the time. I was like, what?
I was zoning out. But yeah, he goes back to his place, and he does the one thing he's not supposed to do, and immediately just begins drawing the gargoyle.
Right.
And for 10 years, he draws this fucking thing, like, just nonstop.
Right.
It's the one thing you're not supposed to draw. Just don't draw it.
Exactly.
Like, he'll just draw it on napkins. It's like, just don't do it, man.
He's obsessed.
So yeah, he's 10 years later, right?
Well, she comes back
Okay, yeah.
and moves in with him.
Okay.
And she casually mentions, "Oh, by the way, I have a friend of a friend wants to see your artwork." And she just happens to own the best gallery in town.
Yeah. What was his dumb name? Like.
Oh, yeah, it was something stupid. I can't remember
it
now.
sounded like one of those dressings you would dip Italian breadsticks
Yeah.
in.
Christofina or Valentina or something. Yeah, I don't know.
That was stupid.
So he becomes obviously rich because his artwork is selling for like $25,000 a piece now.
Yeah.
So they get married.
They get married, they have two kids.
They have 2 kids, and all of a sudden it's 10 years later.
Yeah. And it's the anniversary of the night they met.
Right.
He has the same agent again, the one who originally let him go.
Right.
Which, like, fuck that dude.
Right. Exactly.
But no, he went back with them. And what happens next?
They come back, and he says, "Let's move to the country." And she's like, "You wouldn't like that, you know?"
Yeah.
He's like, "But I want to do something for her." And she's like, "I have everything I want." He goes, "You don't have everything." And he proceeds to pull out the box. He says, "I haven't told you the truth." And he begins to describe this gargoyle. He's got like this statuette he's made of this gargoyle.
He goes, "I haven't showed you everything."
Yeah.
Then he gets his wickle basket and pulls out an action figure of a gargoyle. And he just holds it up without saying anything.
Without saying anything.
It's like,
I
what
like
does that
G.I.
mean?
Joe. Okay.
I masturbated this when you were gone. I mean, I have a secret clay hobby. Like, explain yourself, Sunil. And she just looks at him like, what the fuck?
Right. So he begins to describe the gargoyle, and she starts screaming, "How could you do this? I loved you.
I told you, you promised.
You promised. And all of a sudden she turns back into a gargoyle.
It's a pretty good transformation.
It was pretty good.
Like, old bones begin shooting out of old flesh as she turns into the gargoyle.
There's all this gelatinous body stuff coming out.
For a movie that was not touched upon by Tom Savini, it definitely looks like it was.
It was pretty cool looking.
Yeah.
And then he hears in the bedroom the kids are screeching because they're turning into gargoyles too.
He looks in those two tiny gargoyle children.
They were cute.
I wish we could have seen them mutate.
I know.
That would have been great.
So she, of course, has to kill Preston now.
And he's like, why you have to change? And she's like, I have no choice.
Right, you broke your promise, so I don't have a choice.
Like, what's the logistics of this gargoyle creature?
We don't know.
Like, she can only mate if she, like, spills someone's life and makes them take a vow. Why is it so complex?
I don't know. I wondered the same thing.
Be like, here's my vagina. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I don't know.
So anyway, she kills him.
And she rips his throat out.
Yes, she like bites it out.
And then this gargoyle family. I mean, like, why? Why does he have to die? Like, who? Maybe he's like, oh, I don't mind being with you gargoyle kids.
Right. I'm still your dad.
Diverse families all the time.
Exactly. So she takes her kids and she breaks out the top window.
Yeah, and flies away.
And it ends with her and her two children being turned back to stone on the edge of the building.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
I don't know. This is not too well thought out.
It was an interesting concept, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's like, why?
I mean, I don't know. Just be like, you know what? I'm the gargoyle. So don't tell anyone about it, or I'm going to turn to stone.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as you don't say anything, you're going to have
this.
You're going to have all of this.
A very happy life.
But if you say something, I'm going to rip your throat out.
Exactly.
So I don't draw my face on napkins. That's rude. You're not a killer control artist.
Please don't try.
You don't sell this on the beach for $5.
Maybe that's how he made his fortune.
Maybe it is.
So then we cut back to the lady who's cooking.
Yeah, the epilogue.
The epilogue, yeah.
And like throughout, at the end of level 2, like it would cut back.
Right.
And then she would be in the, like, okay, it's time to cook you. And the kid would be like, oh, wait, no, you haven't told this story
right.
yet. So that was the last one. And she's like, oh, wow, I love stories.
You're right. That was the best story of all.
You really saved the best for last. And the kid's like, wait, no, I have another one.
Right. And he goes, this one has a happy ending. And she's like, none of the stories in that book have a happy ending. And I'm thinking, you don't remember any of the stories. How could you remember if they had happy endings or no?
There's only 3 stories.
There's only 3 stories.
In this blank notebook. And he pulls out like a thing of marbles and
right.
he begins narrating his actions.
He's all, and there's this little boy, and he was collecting for his brother. But what she didn't know is the boy had a pocket full of marbles that she tripped on, and he throws them on the ground, and she immediately falls on them. I'm like thinking,
well, not immediately. She doesn't look down, and she keeps walking forward.
And I'm like, dumbass.
She's the stupidest witch ever.
So of course she falls, and she falls onto the hooks that she was going to use to cut him open with.
Cut him.
Yeah.
I don't know what they were. They're like
knives or.
They look like acupuncture knives.
Yeah, something.
Needles. And she falls on it and she slides away. Then he gets the keys and unlocks himself.
Right.
And he just pokes his finger against her. And she goes flying across the kitchen.
Of course.
Into the oven. And then the oven closes by itself.
Right. I want to know what kind of huge ass oven she has that a full size human fits in there.
I don't know. Big one.
Wouldn't somebody notice that oven was huge?
Who do you think she's just inviting random people?
Well, I don't know.
She's a witch. Witches come over.
Oh, is that what it is?
Wizards and warlocks and, I don't know, gargoyles with overly complex mating rituals.
And of course, then he picks up the book and gets a cookie, and he looks at the camera and says, "Don't you just love happy endings?"
Yeah, I think you just want to punch that kid in the face.
Yeah, I did when he was the child actor. I mean, he was a child actor in this too, but like in other things, it's annoying.
Once again, Castle Rock Radio is immensely pro-child death. We have to put that out there. No kids should die in movies. I mean, and books. It makes it a lot better. Like, imagine, I want this kid to get eaten. I want him to be cooked. I want, like, a bunch of witches and Molochs just sitting around like the Last Supper with this stuffed child on top of the table. That would have been cool. Instead, we get the smug motherfucker eating a cookie.
He didn't
breaking
even
the fourth
share
wall.
cookies with
Speaking
us.
of cookies, I read the other day that the chocolate chip cookies that the Cookie Monster eats
Yes.
were just rice patties with brown spots painted on them.
Really?
It's fucked up.
It is. He's no longer a cookie monster now.
No,
He's a rice cake
monster.
monster. Rice cake monster. Doesn't have quite the same ring.
I once met a rice cake monster.
Did you?
And it said, if you ever tell anyone about me,
Roar!
oh fuck! My rice cake children. No.
Just think about it. He can no longer see us for cookie then. Now he's gonna have to see harvest for rice cake. That's good enough
what is
for
C
me.
for then?
I don't know.
C is for I
Carnage.
can't think of a single word that begins with C.
That's pretty bad.
Oh, calaboose.
You're a calaboose.
Stop creaking.
Hey, get up with this
C
chair's
is for
awful.
creaking. Don't creak that calaboose.
Yeah.
That was it. So what do you think of it?
That was entertaining. I mean,
If you had to rank the three of them.
if I had to rank the three of them,
Yeah.
I don't know. I probably would have to say the cat one was the funniest.
Yeah.
And then probably the lovers one.
I would probably
The
do
mummy
a
one last.
complete opposite.
You think so?
Like reversal, like 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
I like the levels row, even though it makes no sense now that we'll be talking about it. It's really illogical.
Well, you know. We can't have everything be logical.
It would be nice.
Eh.
So, as like his own thing, we'll be gonna rank this on the
I don't know.
list.
I gotta look at the list, man.
For those new to the program, recently we decided we would begin ranking everything we talk about on our website at castlerockcast.com, and just in the hopes of compiling the ultimate guide of what's the best and what's the worst, because why not?
There you go.
So, I mean, right now we have 39 listings. Mm-hmm. Tell me, where would you put this thing at? Do you think it is better than the Out Pupil movie?
I don't know if it's better than that. It's different. I mean, Ant Pupil was more serious, where this is more campy. So
Yeah.
it probably is better than Children of the Corn, though. The Children of the Corn 2.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's probably better than Out Pupil.
I might concede
That movie was disappointing compared to the novella.
The novella was fabulous.
Is it better than the Boogeyman?
Yeah.
It's better than the Raft. I'm kind of thinking maybe between the Raft and the word processor of the gods.
I think so.
20?
19.
19, I mean, yeah.
So, number 19.
Yeah, okay, cool. I'm good with that. That's where we're going to put that one.
Awesome possum.
I guess that concludes Tales from the Darkside from
It
1990. So stay tuned after the break, and we will begin talking about what's been going on lately with Stephen King. We'll get into the news.
Ooh.
And that was Tales from the Darkside,
Ooh.
the movie.
Yes, it was.
That's what it's called.
It was, too.
Tales from the Darkside, the movie.
The movie. You should always have a clean colon.
Yeah, it's ideal. So we have quite a bit of news to discuss in the realm of Stefan Klang. The Dr. Sleep movie, which is being adapted by Mike Flanagan, who made Gerald's Game and Oculus.
Right. All decent movies.
the cast, they have cast Danny Torrance, and that is going to be Ewan McGregor.
Good old Ewan McGregor.
Yep. So that's a thing that's happening.
Have you ever noticed he always plays like characters who are like either older or younger? Like he played. No, I know that sounds stupid.
Like
but
every other person who's ever acted in a
no,
movie.
I meant like he was in Star Wars and I can't think of the name.
Obi-Wan
Kenobi, but I mean he played a younger version of somebody who had already acted in the movie.
Oh, I see what you mean.
And now he's playing an older character that was previously a younger version.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Just an interesting.
Same thing in Big Fish. He played the younger version of that old man.
See, it's a big old coinky dinky.
It's a conspiracy. The Ewan McGregor conspiracy.
Whoa.
Richard Price, who is a famous crime novelist, he wrote Clockworks and a bunch of other things. Mm-hmm. He is set to script a 10-episode series adaptation of Stephen King's The Outsider, which is a novel that just came out.
It did. Like, what, 2 weeks ago? A week ago?
In June.
June-ish.
Yeah. We'll be doing an episode about that book sometime eventually.
Right.
Maybe next month, depending on when you finish it.
I'm sorry that I have to read faster.
Depending on when you begin it.
This is true.
So,
I'm doing my best.
Not a lot of news about that yet. Except, Richard Price, he's good. He did a lot of scripts for HBO's The Wire.
Very cool.
So we shall see what happens with that. We will follow along. More news about the Dark Tower TV show. It is still alive, evidently. There was a recent interview between Deadline and Amazon Studios head Jennifer Salke.
Salke or Salke.
Salke.
Right.
She went on to say, "There's all scripts that I haven't gotten yet," referring to the DT TV show. "I'll be seeing those in the coming weeks. None of those things are dead. They're very much alive."
Right. If they don't follow along with what the film did,
well, I think they
it'll
already mentioned that they would not be.
Oh, that's good. I mean, because obviously the book has books.
Yeah, the book does have a book.
Yes,
That's
they have an
correct.
extremely big following. So
Yeah, it would make a good TV show. So
I agree.
Let's hope something happens with that, and whoever made the movie is not involved.
Let's hope.
Lastly, the cast for It Chapter 2 is finally complete. We now have all the grown-ups.
The grown-up losers.
So, to rehash on some of these, Bev will be played by Jessica Chastain.
Right.
Sterling Bill will be James McAvoy.
I can see him.
Yeah, he's been in movies.
I know who James McAvoy is, but I can
You just hit play on the movie, and then he shows up, and then you can see him.
No, I can see him playing Stuttering Bill. Richie Tozer will be played by Bill Hader.
Who is perfect casting.
Yes, absolutely.
The best casting of anything I've ever been told.
Been told ever.
Yeah.
Ben will be played by Jay Ryan.
I don't know who that
I'm
is.
not quite sure who that
I don't know
is.
who the rest of these people are.
Yeah, Eddie will be played by James Ransone.
Okay.
Stanley will be played by Andy Bean, and if you look at a picture of him, he's like the perfect Stanley. And then Mike will be played by Isaiah Mustafa, who's the guy on the Old Spice commercials that's always like half naked. Look at this bottle, then look at me, then look at this, and look at me.
I don't know.
He's pretty funny that he would be playing Mike.
Yeah, so that's interesting. We will, that the cast is complete. The movie comes out September 6th, 2019.
We have a whole year and a half to wait.
And obviously the Bill Skarsgård will be reprising his role as Pennywise.
I would hope so. He would played an excellent Pennywise.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. So those are some news.
It's very exciting.
Is it?
It is
We
exciting.
don't sound excited.
I am so excited. Is that better?
I guess. As always, please rate and review us on iTunes and all those other places.
Google Play, wherever you listen to us on, YouTube.
Check us out at castlerockcast.com.
Right, don't forget we have our ratings there. So if you want to see how something we feel is rated with everything else that
If you
Stephen
want to
King
see
is,
the ongoing list of rankings,
it'll be on there.
Yeah, just go to that website and look around.
Don't forget that you want to be very cool and you want to wear a Castle Rock t-shirt, so you need to go to tpublic.com/user/PMM Publishing and order a Castle Rock Radio t-shirt.
Yeah, put it on, take a photo, tag us on social media, tweet us at Castle Rock Cast.
We would
We'll
like
join
it.
our Facebook group. It's on Facebook. The name of the page is Castle Rock Radio for fans of Stephen King, podcasts, and dick jokes. It's kind of a community group, not really a page. Well, anyone who's interested in the podcast or Stephen King news and discussions, they could join up, and we have topics we talk about sometimes. If you want to shoot us an email, if you have a complaint, if you want to spray us with praise, you can shoot us an email at castlerockcast@gmail.com. If you ever met Stephen King, or if you have like a funny story about one of his books, email us. Maybe we'll do like a mailbag episode.
That'd be cool.
Maybe we need to come up with like a specific topic for people to write us about.
That would be cool. We'll have to think about that.
Yeah.
Next couple
Stephen
episodes.
King.
That is very unspecific.
We do a weekly newsletter as well. You can subscribe by going to pmmpnews.com. And of course, if you want to help us keep this show alive and running, you could throw us a buck or two on Patreon at patreon.com/pmmpublishing.
Exactly.
Yeah, so, you could do all those things. Well, not,
It's up to you.
I guess.
And don't forget, we'll be at KillerCon later in August in Austin, so come by and see us.
Yeah. And also, if you want to snag an early copy of our new book, Lost Films, which is an anthology of short stories, you can go to our website at perpetualpublishing.com. It's on the homepage. Use coupon code
Constant listener.
upon checkout, and you will get 10% off the book.
Woohoo.
So that's a thing.
It is. It's very exciting.
So Patrick Lacey's Bonesaw is out still.
Yes.
It's not going anywhere.
I would hope not. It'd
Except
be kind of
maybe,
weird.
in your house.
It would be
if you
on
buy
the way
it.
to your house.
Yeah. So go do that. He was on a recent episode about the raft.
Yes, he was.
Go listen to that. Go do all those things.
Right now. Drop what you're doing.
We'll do nothing. We already have your download. You can't take that back. What are we talking about next week?
I believe we are talking about Christine.
Christine.
Finally.
That's my mom's name.
It is your mom's name. I don't think your mom has a car, though.
No comments. Until then.
Have a great day, great week,
Yeah.
great month, great lifetime, great whatever.
May you have a blessed future.
Oh, God, please.
Oh, you done it now, Jordy Verrill? You monkhead. You monkhead.